with misconceptions or with blinkers on. They don't actually understand the journey that's required to get there, and they go in with incorrect intent.
For me, an example is that from young, I had that in my heart. I was like, I knew I was going to be successful. I knew I was going to get rich, even though I had no idea how.
If you see the benefit of what you're working on, you're going to allow to get focused, laser vision, and do it in half the time or a quarter of the time.
Hi, it's Snippet, and in this episode, I discuss with Tristan Wright, business coach at Evolve to Grow, on the topic of entrepreneurial mindset you need to adopt this year in order to succeed in business. Now, Tristan has been on my show previously, and I love his advice because he's a rare coach you'll find who has actually personally built his own 7-figure business before becoming a business coach. To be honest, guys, running a business is not easy and it's not for everyone. However, in this video, we will share with you tips and advice you can take to help you think like an Olympic champion, have the courage of a Mt Everest climber, and the determination of Rocky Balboa. Hey Tristan, how are you today?
I'm good. We're out of lockdown in Melbourne, Moss. You're still stuck in lockdown.
Yes, I know. It really does take a lot of resilience and the right mindset to survive through lockdowns. And most importantly, the last 10 years I've been in business, and it's hard work. It's like what I love about your guide that people can download on your website. It's called the 10 Simple Principles, which I will put in the link below, is that the first thing you said in the main paragraph was that you need the heart of an Olympian champion, the courage of a Mt Everest climber, and then the determination of Rocky. So welcome, Tristan, and tell me more about how you came up with that combination, but it really rings true.
So I wrote this e-guide probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't used it enough. And I was rereading it just before this interview. I'm like, geez, I need to actually use this e-guide as a proper lead magnet because there's so much information in here that's going to help business owners. I'm going to use an example of an Olympic athlete that was on TV last night. She was a boxer. She's Australia's most successful boxer. She got through to the quarterfinals and she was in tears in the post-fight interview, and she was so apologetic to Australia, to her supporters. She had a single-minded focus that she was going to win the gold medal. She was determined. She knew that she could achieve this. And she felt so let down, or she felt like she'd let everyone down that she hadn't achieved this ultimate outcome. It was so important for her to achieve the gold medal that she did anything that she could to get there. Yes, she failed by not getting there, but she had her blinkers on, didn't care what people were saying about her. She just wanted to get there. So her mindset, this was the heart of an Olympian. And at the end of the day, business is not that different. You've got to focus. You've got to have a goal that you want to achieve. You've got to have a direction, and you've got to have faith and belief in yourself that you can do it.
Yeah. And so like most people kind of think, okay, cool, I want to start a business, and no one preps you up for how challenging it is, because when you think about, trying to get into a sport, you kind of expect to know that you will do, practice and learn your craft every day and put in the work. But somehow in business, I think a lot of people have the wrong expectation. It's not what it seems to be.
Totally. A lot of business owners get into business because maybe their current boss is not a good boss, or they see a little gap in the market, or they realize they've got talent in one area. But what a business owner often doesn't realize is that you can't just have talent in one area. You've got to have talent in multiple areas. You've got to focus on your mindset. You've got to focus on strategy. You've got to focus on finances. You've got to focus on people. You've got to focus on brand. You've got to focus on sales. You've got to focus on there's multiple areas, and you've got to have faith in yourself. A sports person will have a single-minded focus on the outcome. And if you go into business, often people are going into business either with misconceptions or with blinkers on. They don't actually understand the journey that's required to get there, and they go in with incorrect intentions. Also, you can't just be good at one area, which is the product or the service that you're delivering. And yes, you may be good at delivering that service, but sometimes those other areas will drop off. And when those other areas drop off, your mindset drops off and you start questioning yourself, and you don't have as much faith. So unless you in yourself and what your service is, So unless you have a clear end goal, a clear direction, and you've got absolute faith in yourself that you want to achieve this, you will come across hurdles. And a lot of the time you won't be able to get over those hurdles.
Yeah. And so would you say that, so for me, an example is that from young, I had that in my heart. I was like, I knew I was going to be successful. I knew I was going to get rich, even though I have no idea how. My circumstance was not like that, but it was in me, right? And so I kind of went into business or into life like, that's it, I'm going that. So do you think that it's that kind of person that just knows, or it's something you developed over the years?
Some people have got an addictive personality. And so people with an addictive personality, it's easier for them to focus and achieve. But sometimes they'll focus on sport, but then if they fail at it, they'll go and focus on drugs or alcohol. So you often see high performing athletes that once they finish sport, Ben Cousins is a perfect example, they go and get addicted to drugs, alcohol, whatever it is. Coming back, it's about having clarity on what it is that you actually want to achieve. There's no point just working on a business for the sake of working on a business to make money, to be a good marketer. There's got to be clarity on the purpose, the reason. And if you're actually true to yourself and you're aligned with that, these hurdles, these mindset issues, these business issues are going to fall away, because you'll see there's actually just a hurdle, a moment in time, and taking a step back, there's multiple moments in time, and you focus on what you can control, not on what you can't control.
Yeah. And what would you say some tips on how to stay motivated? Like sport, every day when you're practicing is not very fun. You just repeat, and sometimes they practice 8 hours a day on the same thing, and it kind of gets mundane. And business is the same, just hustle, grind. And tips around to staying motivated in the long run.
What is the meaning of your training? What is the meaning of your work? Why are you doing it? What are you going to achieve from it? What is the benefit to you? What is the benefit to your family? What is the benefit to your staff? How can you measure that? So, perfect example is myself. The last 2 weeks, I've actually been really shitty because we've been in lockdown. I had 2 big sporting events that I was training for, and I couldn't do either of them. My training dropped off. I had no direction or goal to work towards. But I've gone back, I've reset my goals, my direction. And yes, it's still a bit painful, but now that I've got new goals to work towards, and I've got a much better mindset, I'm a much happier person. Yes, a lot of us say we're not goal orientated, but at the end of the day, that's bullshit. You've got to have something to work towards. You go and do a straw poll of the 10 people around you, ask them if they're happy or not. The people that say they're more likely to say they're happy will be goal orientated.
And then, so would you say though that, like there is a saying that not everyone should be an entrepreneur, right? It's like it takes certain personality, that strength and all that. But so how to spot if you really should just give it up, like I know people have tried and then dabble and try again.
What do they want in life? What is their ultimate objective in life? Like what are their values? What is their purpose? What do they want to do? What makes them happy? And get the real answer to those questions, and you'll know if you should be working for someone or should be working for yourself or have people working for you. It's about what your ultimate objective is. What makes you tick. Is your ultimate objective to be an Olympian? Go and do that. Don't live life on the goal plans of others. Is your ultimate objective to help people in this industry? Go and do that. Put all of your energy into that rather than living on the goal plans that others have set for you. So many of us live on others' goal plans.
You're right, because sometimes people love the benefits of entrepreneurship in terms of being able to work anywhere, work from home, earn a good living, etc. And if their goal isn't big enough, for me, it's like eradicating poverty and creating employment for people and helping so many people. That's what pulled me into doing business. Whereas if your goal is, like you said, a lot smaller and your objective is live a comfortable life and be able to work from anywhere, I actually tell people there is jobs out there that actually allow you to do that. My own company, I'm like, this is the best employment you can get because you work from home. I'm very flexible and you still get a good income. And when I sell the business and it's amazing, that I'm going to split it with you. So you can get rich somehow still, right? So
yeah. So what is it that makes you tick? And work towards achieving that ultimate objective in the simplest way possible.
Yeah. And so you talk a little bit about being in your zone. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Good question. So for me, being in the zone is actually aligning yourself with what it is that you want to achieve and working towards that. If you're 100% clear on what direction that you're heading in and why you're doing that, it's going to be so much easier to work on that as your goal or your target and to get rid of it, all of the other white noise. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to be in the zone. If you're just working just for the sake of it, you're going to struggle to get in the zone. But if you see the benefit of what you're working on, you're going to allow to get focused, laser vision, and do it in half the time or a quarter of the time of what it would take if it wasn't a project or a job that you weren't aligned with.
Yeah, because people, when they come to me and they say, my goal is to make a lot of money, and like, any other goal is like,
that's bullshit.
No, I just want to make money. And that is the reason why I don't think that you're pulling maker, because your goal isn't strong enough. When you're pulled into the bigger mission, and even when you start hiring staff, that is when you start to go, oh my God, I don't want to give up because of my staff. I want to keep going because I've created jobs for people, right?
At the end of the day, money is a tool for you to achieve your ultimate objective. People need to understand the difference of making money and their ultimate objective, because money is just a function. It's just a way to get to your objective.
When we were talking about zone as well, you did mention in there that about waking up early, and I'm a big fan of that. I have another video on my channel called How to Wake Up at 3 a.m. That is actually what time I wake up, because I'm actually addicted to the benefit of, like you said, tranquility and focus, that those few hours in the morning. It's just amazing. So, shed some light on that. Are you experiencing that yourself as well?
I naturally wake up at 5:30. I don't need an alarm. When I wake up, I'm up and I'll go for my ride, I'll go for a run, and then I'm working at 7. But what that allows me to do is I don't have interruptions. It's time for myself to get in the zone and focus and do things that are most important for me. Going for my ride, doing my exercise in the morning is most important. And then I find I work best before others start. The benefit of that is I can finish at 3 o'clock if I want to, and I can go and spend time with my family. I can go pick up Emerson from childcare, spend the afternoon with him. It's still daylight, kind of thing. Do my work hours, get things done when I'm in the zone, and I work best in the morning. Like, eat that frog. Do the biggest, toughest things first thing in the day, and then the rest of the day you'll be in flow.
Yeah, because you're right in the sense that even those few hours in the morning, it allows us to buy some time to do the self-care, the exercise, the stuff that isn't even business related, that actually helps our mentality, the resilience. And because I kind of like, a debate here is that some people go, oh, nah, but you're just a morning person. I'm a night person and I function very well at night. I still question that. One of your comment in there, which I agree with, is that your tank is full. You're full of energy because you just woke up. You got so much fuel in yourself. And then by the end, you kind of get deflated. And I would think that even if you think you've got these hours at the end of the night, you're working, but how effective you are or like sharp, I think it's a different level.
How people can be evening workers, they're taking the day to warm up, kind of thing. And once it gets to the evening, you've only got a finite amount of time. For me, it's about training your body and training your mind to do it the other way. So you've trained yourself to do the important things at the end of the day, i.e. procrastinate during the day. Why not get rid of the procrastination during the day, do everything that's important first up, and then you can have free time in the evening.
Yeah. And it's also when you wake up early, you get time to plan and be proactive in what your day will be, versus waking up when all the kids and all the families awake, and then you just... Yeah,
and you're behind already.
Yes.
You're behind straight away.
Yeah.
So, and you're being reactive rather than proactive.
Yeah. Well, I guess to leave with the last question for the audience is, what is the one key takeaway you want people to have if they're thinking, do I have the goods to be still in my business or start a business?
2 questions. What is your ultimate objective? And are you living on your goal plan or someone else's goal plan?
Thanks, Tristan. Awesome.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Now, Tristan actually has an amazing guide that goes through the entrepreneurial mindset more thoroughly, and also has other tips on the principles you need to learn to grow your business. You can download a free copy in the link in the description below. Now, if you'd like to learn more business tips from me, then check out this video here.